Here with Michelle from the Bronx. We are talking live feeds and updates. This is a spoiler, so if you don't want to listen, watch us later. Hey, Michelle.
It's a spoiler. We're talking about the live feeds, what went down. So, yeah, if you don't want to know what's going on, skip us now, come back later, and, you never know. You might catch something that you didn't catch before. How fast is this game going, John?
Oh my God, it is going so fast. I mean, we kind of got stuck in like little pitfalls with all the racism and the homophobia, but wow, after Helen winning HOH, it has gone full speed ahead.
Yeah, it's definitely full speed ahead. We have a few things that we can talk about. Like the first people that have been evicted were David and now Nick. And what's going to happen with that? Who knows? Will Nick finally admit to Gina Marie that he's in love with her?
Well, I saw Nick on OMG Insider, and they asked about Gina Marie and how his feelings were and yada, yada, yada. I think Gina Marie has a special place in his heart, but, I mean, they only really held hands, so I think he should have kissed her, and, I think he should have kissed Jessie, like Julie Chen said, and maybe he would have gotten her vote.
I think that there was enough pinky kissing going on to where Nick was crossing some lines there on his own. Okay, so yeah, Helen wins HOH. We'll just cut right to the meat and potatoes and nothing about meat flaps.
Go ahead, Michelle.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, first of all, the amount of showmances that are in this house, I am absolutely sick over. Friggin' Rosie on New Jersey can't get a date or be in a relationship for 6 years, but all these people are getting hooked up in like 3 days. Rosie must go on to that show, I guess. I don't know.
Rosie should be on Big Brother.
There you go. Yeah, that'll work. We already got a catastrophe with Gina Marie. Imagine Rosie getting in there. What on me? The names that'll be going on, they'll be like on. Yeah, forget that.
So let's go right after HOH, the live feeds, the whole confrontation with Jenny Marie and Candace and all of that stuff that went down. Holy Mother of God.
Do you know that Candace went after that dark side of the house as soon as the live show was over and that Helen won HOH? She said, why don't you show me your cockroach dance now, and I'll let it be a cockroach, and I'm going to be here like for as long as the dinosaurs will be here, the cockroaches were here. Apparently there was a reference that Candace wanted to make clear that she was not a cockroach.
Oh, my God.
They came back to the live feeds, and it was heated. Heated. Candace went off on them, and that stayed in everybody's mind.
Well, do you think, I mean, Jenny Marie has that tough exterior. She's from New York. She was getting in her face. Do you really think that she was trying to egg her on and maybe to kind of push her? Because we know once you get pushed, Big Brother exits you out.
Well, see, the confrontation that went down out in the back was more towards Aaron, and then Gina Marie was just upset why Nick was voted out. So she just walked around the house, and all you heard was, like, whale calls.
Right.
Whale calls. She didn't get into Candace's face until, like, later on that night in the bedroom, where we had a third Bedgate issue that went down. When the feeds came back, it was clear that we knew that there was going to be a divide. We knew that there was going to be a blindside. We all love blindsides. We knew there was going to be an aftermath, and the aftermath was the dissension. Who was going to scramble where? And guess who laid low? Who laid low? Jeremy.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy laid low while everybody else, he was like, you know what? I got screwed. I didn't win. I'm a loser. I'm going to have to suck it this week.
Well, I think in his mind exploding that the moving company was no more and going, oh, bye-bye. Wow, I've been outplayed.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, he just kind of laid down.
Yeah, he did lay down. And then that's why when the girls were arguing and they were being like, they were they were very, very catty. They were going after Jesse first, and they were like, "We're taking over this bed." And it's absolutely amazing to where they say that that's not your bed, but then they want to take it over like it's their bed. So there's no level of respect there. And Jesse was like, right, telling Jeremy to get out of the bed, and him laying there saying, well, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to stay right here. It was like a personal invasion of the personal space type thing. And he should have just said, man up, like, all right, man, I get it. There's a chair in the corner. Let me sit in the chair if we're going to hang out in the room. Like, it's just one of those things. I would have kicked him. Me? I would have just kicked him. I would have said, yeah, all right, you want to stay here? Boom. You know, you want to stay here? Boom. Okay. I mean, I don't know if I would have went bad girl style on him, but I think I would have just kicked him. You know, and that let Caitlin in on the open door policy to then go after Jesse, and then Aaron went after Jesse, and then, it's just a feeding frenzy once it starts with these girls. And Jeremy literally put his head in a pillow and just was like shaking his head. And he was like, he couldn't leave, he couldn't support, and he couldn't engage.
Nope.
Sorry.
Done.
Yeah. So then they went up to the HOH, and before they went up to the HOH, Aaron flipped Candace's bed. That was bad girl style. But she was such a punk ass about it. Like, she's like, it was just like there was no need for it. Like, Caitlin laughed at it, Jean Marie laughed at it, and maybe they should have turned around and said, hey, you know what, Aaron, that's not cool. Why don't you put it back? But they just let Aaron do whatever she wanted to do because they knew that Aaron was digging a hole for herself. I'm pretty sure Caitlin already saw the light. Like, she was like, I'm gonna have to suck up. Jean Marie was still in her tears, but still, knew not to get involved up to a point. They make nice up in the HOH.
Yeah.
They saw Helen's kids' pictures, the drawings, nice.
Right.
We had a few tears, a lot of tears. But then Candace comes back downstairs and sees her bed. So
yeah,
Candace was already pissed. Candace was saying she was going to go evil dick on these people. And that means getting the pots and pans on them. So then when she was like, she went and like flipped her bed back, left the room, and Aaron came back in and said she didn't get in trouble because she was called to the DR. And then Candace said, well, I'll give you another, if you touch my bed again, now I'm going to just there's going to be pots and pans. And that's when Aaron Shaniqua came out. Do you know what Aaron Shaniqua does, John? Do you have, any idea?
No, tell me.
Yeah, apparently only Aaron knew that, Shaniqua was going to be all shimmy and shaken. I don't know. I just find the catty and the whole trying to go into a slang language that's not natural for you to speak in. You're mocking, and Candace took it personally.
It comes off very mocking.
Right. So Candace was right. She's put up with enough, and of course then we have the whole she told Jean Marie, why are you even involved in this? Nick's not even here. And then Jean Marie snapped out of the crying hole that she was in and jumped right up into Candace's face.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. All this went down about 10:53 all the way until 11:27 and then some. But it was pretty bad. Howard had to come in. Howard had to carry Candace out. That little group felt a little vindicated for their loss, and they were like, well, we got into her head. The bad thing is that they got into Howard's head. And I don't know if you got to see it on the feeds at all, John, but that man fought the demons. He fought his anger, he fought his temper, he fought some racial
he's been sitting there going, it's a game, I have to play the game, I'm here with these people kind of thing. Yeah, you see it all the time.
Right. Yeah, I cried. I literally cried when he was begging for help. He was praying and he was holding on, and I was like, man, this is very hard to watch emotionally. We both have had many things that we probably had to battle because we are gay, and it didn't just being people. We have normal crap that we have to battle, and then to know that they had to battle this inside, in the public, in the house, but it's in the public. He's aware. He's got self-consciousness to where he's aware of, I can't do anything. I can't do this. I can't protect you like I want to because I'm going to come off like the angry black guy, and I don't want to do that. And Ken's like, no, you can't be yelling at white girls because it's going to come off that way. You can't. I understand you can't. And what's really sad is that of all things, no one was willing to say, hey, we'll give up our bed. We'll sleep in the have-not room. And they weren't willing to sleep anyplace else. Howard was like, I'm sleeping in the have-not room. And they slept on the floor. They slept on the floor. It's just appalling. And I'm glad that Candace has a bed tonight, and she had a bed last night, and that it's finally solved. They had the have-not comp, and I'm glad that part is solved. But I think that that's going to be a really moving moment that CBS is going to use into their favor for sure. I think that they're just lining up Howard to be like eventually, or if ever Alyssa gets evicted and never gets MVP, that they just lined up Howard now with the edit for him to get MVP.
I hope so. I loved it even when he picked up Candace, because that whole thing with her and Jenny Marie, it was getting out of control. Somebody needed to break it up, and the way Howard did it, I really liked it. And Jenny Marie, you have Aaron, who on one end is like, what is going on? Is she evil? But then you got Jenny Marie, who falls into this hole, like we've talked about in earlier recaps, and then all of a sudden can go from crying and hysteria to just anger and in your face. She's got some problems. There's something scary going on there with Jenny Marie. Besides her extensions, there's something scary going on in here.
Maybe Jenny Marie might want to join the cast with Gina Marie.
Gina Marie. It's so distraught. I can't even get her name right.
Okay. We had a big.
There's something wrong with me.
All right, so after everything, after all the hate gate and the bed gate and the bullshit gate and the fuck you gate, and there was all that betrayal crap that went down. We wound up like they made it through the night. They made it through the night. They had nominations. Helen's background, I think, is stopping her from making some really good choices, and she's over analytical on many different avenues. And her holding HOH, she wound up turning into this tiny little control monster. I want the truth. I only want the truth. If you're not telling me the truth, then I'm gonna know, and I'm gonna give you a pass if you lied to me, but that's only gonna be once. And then other than that, then I'm not gonna I get it. You wanna play for your safety for next week, but you're kind of shying away from what you really wanted to do before you were HOH. All they spout was that they wanted to get rid of Aaron and Jeremy. And they had nominations yesterday. And who went up? Not Jeremy. Aaron and Caitlin. Not a good move.
No.
If everything that you say the whole week prior is this thing, and you don't do that thing when you're in power, it's kind of like, all right, you're gaming, we know, but you really needed to make a stance. Yes, Helen, we know. You wanted everybody to be nice. You wanted everybody to have all these things going on. But she's secretly saying she's working with Jeremy. Right before the vote, Jeremy went there and said, people are throwing your name up there, so we're going to vote you out. Then Helen turned around and went to Nick and said, hey, Nick, you don't have the numbers. Like, there was so much other, underhanded conspiring. So who was Helen really aligned with? We know that she's aligned with Alyssa. But she knows that Alyssa's fate is only going to last so long while she has MVP. Once that dies, she's not going to have that. She's going to need a strong man. She can't have Howard because Howard is with Candace. She can't have Spencer because Andy's with Spencer. So who is left? The biggest target. And we all know, usually in the game of Survivor, in the game of Big Brother, you want to take people that were the biggest idiots and or threats in the game with you to the end. And then you want to say, I played a better game. I didn't go around and threat people. So I have a funny feeling that that's where she's going to really bank her money in, is on Jeremy. It's really weird, the dynamics of watching her, do everything. I don't see her winning the way things are lying. I don't see her winning against Alyssa if that was there, just because of just the way everything is. Alyssa is making it through all of the stuff, not only the racism, but also all the negativity in the house. Helen is associated by a product of that.
Yes.
She's still treated nice, where Alyssa's never been really treated nice.
So if Helen's plan is to kind of align herself with Jeremy because everyone else is kind of coupled up, what happens when Caitlin doesn't go home and they're still coupled?
Andy has got a side alliance also with Caitlin, and Helen will keep Caitlin safe, and Caitlin will keep Helen safe. But Jeremy will dump Caitlin before he dumps Helen, because I think when it comes down to it, even though that he is a brazen individual, I think that he's cocky enough to say, I want to beat the best.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to dump Caitlin. I don't think that Caitlin has a chance. I think again, she might, somebody else that let's say if Jod gets HOH or Jesse gets HOH, I see, it being like a wasted HOH to get rid of Caitlin on that avenue. You know, I don't know. I don't know. It's really hard. So they had the nominations, and there was the next thing that usually follows is like who's going to be MVP and what is MVP going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Alyssa wound up getting MVP.
Yay!
Yeah, she wound up telling. She got it last night. She got it early this morning, and she wound up talking to McCrae about it. And there wasn't any conspiring with her for the nominations, and she felt like she had to make her nom for the MVP without talking to Helen, and it kind of backlashed. And because of the wonky vote that was out there, that Helen was so determined to find out who threw that vote, Alyssa nominated Spencer, of all things. Why? And people are questioning, why did you put up Spencer? Nobody conferred with her. It's actually her MVP. She knows that she's being used. She wants to have a say, and she felt that Spencer was behind that wonky vote. And she's right.
Yeah,
Howard,
totally right.
Yeah, Howard took the blame like a big man and is saying a bunch of things, but it was really Spencer who said, hey, do me a favor. Instead of voting to keep Alyssa, just throw a vote to evict Alyssa so that the numbers are off a little bit more. Instead of it being 8-3, it's 7-4. Where,
right.
The other side was expecting it to be 6-5 in favor of them. It was just too far of a spread that Spencer didn't want to take. So I think it's a good move that she put up Spencer. I don't think they're going to get the target out that they really originally wanted.
Which is Aaron?
Aaron and Jeremy, yeah. I still would have just put them up. I just would have said, screw it, just let me put them up. I would put, Aaron, Caitlin, and Jeremy right across the board. And then, if Gina Marie won, she got picked and she won POV, she would have to choose. Mm-hmm. If they won, we had somebody else that we could take and put up. That would have been the switch later on. It wasn't, I think in the past weeks, I think it was whatever the MVP nom was the one that was going home. I think this week it's not going to be that. And I think that's where they kind of forgot that it was really a game. Amanda was right on, keep the MVP in and everything like that. But this week, I think that the HOH noms was way more important than the MVP nom.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Yeah. So we've got the fast game is rolling forward. They picked for POV players this morning. The have not competition went down yesterday, and apparently Howard tried to throw the have not competition, and during the competition he actually did something to Aaron. And whatever it was that they were supposed to do for the have not comp, he wound up throwing liquid right at Aaron's face. And he said he felt fine about doing that for a little while, but then he felt guilty afterwards. But I can't wait to see that when they show it to us. We should be seeing that either Sunday or Tuesday. Sunday, probably. And then, so they wound up that the have-nots are Amanda and McCrae and mm-hmm. Judd and Jesse. So people wanted Aaron to feel the have-not, pain. So she's not. Yeah. She's not. Gina Marie is definitely a have, and she's going to need to be a have. She's getting a little bit of a fireballs back. I tweeted out the other day, I was like, Gina Marie ate balls for breakfast, and now they're settling in the right spot on her vagina. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but that's pretty much where she was coming off. She was coming off a little bit more herself, and this morning, she found out about the moving company. She found out that Nick is a rollerblader. She's very depressed about that.
Well, I think the whole thing about the balls and vagina is so wrong that it's right. Thank you so much. I just think that right now, they're picked the POV players. They're playing POV right now as we are talking. They're still playing POV, so we don't know who won POV, and we don't actually flat out know for sure that Spencer was nominated. But that's what was said. There was a little deception that they didn't want to listen to be known as the MVP, so they were trying to blame McCrae, and McCrae was saying that he was the MVP, and that wound up being blown apart this morning. So it's like you can't play game if you're trying to play honest. And Helen wants to play an honest game, Alyssa wants to play an honest game, so don't try and play this other game. Right. I think we'll have some more tiers, and it's going to be more of the I'm missing my family tiers. Aaron is going to feel beat. Aaron is already sucking it up. She's big time. She hasn't talked to Alyssa yet. She has not talked to Alyssa. She has not kissed the ring yet of Alyssa.
Jeremy is trying.
Yeah.
Helen is trying to orchestrate it. I kind of feel like it's going to be like a sponsored date. I don't know. I don't know. Jessie is doing really well. She's holding her own. She keeps telling, Aaron, like, why are you being like this? In fact, at one point they were making amends yesterday, and then Aaron said a comment to her, and she's like, well, I don't even know why you're asking me that question. It's just like you just don't.
When they were playing chess in front of the HOH room, I saw that whole conversation too.
Oh, thank God.
And then Aaron turned it around and was like, well, you're the one that was asking to talk to me. And it's just like, it's another example of this girl where her head is. Nothing she says or she takes no responsibility for anything. And when Jessie kind of cornered her a little bit, then she turned around and said, well, you wanted to talk to me.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my gosh. I'm trying to find something kind of human about this girl, and it's really hard. It's really hard.
Oh, I think there's plenty of human about her. I just don't think it's all good human. What do you think about our little boy, Andy?
I love my little gingers. I love my gay gingers. I just want to put him in my pocket and just carry him around with me. But you know what? He's flip-flopping everywhere. It's driving me nuts. I listened to his conversation in the have-not room with Caitlin. She's sitting there going, oh, well, just let us know if they're going to secretly backdoor Jeremy. And then all of a sudden I see him talking to someone else, and it's just like, where are you? I'm trying to understand your game more because you're flip-flopping.
Yeah, I think his game is how many doors and conversations can I bust up in a Big Brother season. And I hope that somebody is trying to keep a tally on that,
Yeah.
And speaking of tallies, there is a tally out there regarding all of the weaves that have gone bad. So you guys can find that. I probably will tell you type in bad weave tally and that might come up, but I don't know for sure. I think how I feel about this week is that I actually feel like I'm a little relieved that once that the POV is done, that the only thing that I have to worry about are my fingers typing out all of Helen trying to theorize things in another way.
Mm-hmm.
She's got it down. Candace already knew about the moving company. Let's be honest. Wait, the moving company is a bust. Right. Are you surprised, John?
I'm not surprised, no. I mean, once I think, even when Jeremy started getting super cocky and they're like, wait a minute, who are you? You're not like the face of the moving company. I think that's when it started getting dissolved a little bit. I knew Candace figured out that there was an all-guy alliance. She didn't know what the name was, and I still don't understand the name, but whatever. But you know what? They came kind of clean with it, saying, oh, yes, we had this alliance. I think maybe to kind of save themselves, maybe to kind of clear the air so that they can make new alliances. I don't know.
Well, I think that them saying that they're clearing the air is just verifying what Helen and Candace figured out over 7 days ago. And Amanda was also knew that there was something up. McCrae, hey, we know it's gameplay. Now you want to say that you didn't really have anything to do with it, that it was your HOH, and you were like, no, you weren't going to say no, and all these big guys say, oh, let's have the moving company. You went along with it. You could have just kept it with Amanda, but you didn't. You want to save face? We get it. It's gameplay. I think they all forgot that that's an issue. It's right. We knew you were going to have some side alliances, but guess what? All the girls were having side alliances too, so that's why they're really that much more forgiving. Right. It's not like it was a big deal. Caitlin knew a while ago that there was an alliance. Aaron knew a while ago that there was a boys' alliance, but they always said, "Oh, we're just going to be true to you." It wasn't with the intent of we've got to go back and hang out with the girls so we can break up the boys' alliance. It never seemed that threatening to Caitlin and Aaron, so they were fine with it. Yeah, it's going to be different this week because there's nothing else for Helen to try and figure out.
Right.
There's no wonky vote. They already know who voted out David. The only other thing that they have to really divulge to Aaron is that Jeremy voted out David.
Yeah.
And that might hurt her, or that he actually helped to orchestrate that. I think he voted to keep David. No, it was 8-1. I don't even forget the votes. I feel like it was a month ago.
No, it was Spencer that voted out David, wasn't it?
They all
comment below and correct us right now.
At this point, we're feed like overdosed here, so we can't remember all the stats. But I think that the point is that Aaron doesn't know exactly how all that went down. So maybe that might come to light for Aaron. But everything else, MC is done. The wonky vote is done. You know, there's no other things to conspire about. So I want to know how Helen is going to keep herself entertained, unless she's going to do her prancer-size exercising, which drives me friggin' nuts inside the house.
Yeah.
I was like, really, John? I'm giving you a line, and that's all you gave me was yeah? You don't want to tap?
I wanted to prance. I wanted to prance.
Okay, so what do you think? What do you think is going to happen? They got him up pretty early to pick for the POV and do the POV. What do you think?
Oh gosh, I would love. Do we know who was picked to participate? Was Ginny Marie? Okay, so I would love Ginny Marie to participate. I would love for her to win it, and I'd love to see who she picks, Aaron or Caitlin, to take them off the block.
Wow, you go in danger zone here.
I know. I love the danger.
Yeah, I kind of want to, in all honesty, I would like to have Helen win the POV for lots of reasons. Because now she'll be able to make the nominations right if she wanted to change it. And I want Helen to have the whole burden of the POV. I don't want it to be on Alyssa. Alyssa has that MVP burden the whole time. She's had enough. I want to see how Helen works now under severe pressure. We know emotional pressure is different than game pressure, and this will be game pressure if she wins that POV, because everybody, Aaron, Caitlin, Jeremy, and Gina Marie, will all be up there, and they will be probably jumping more info, and that's what Helen wants. Helen's whole HOH is, we're all going to be nice, and we're all going to be cordial, and I want information.
Absolutely. Anything else we got? What else?
No, I think that's it. We got to tell people to make sure that they watch our Eric's mashup video at the reality recaps.com. Go to YouTube and look up reality recaps. Go to our website, www.realityrecap.
And go to your blog.
Go to our blog. Look at our blog. We've got a bunch of stuff that's coming on. If we've got some other massive breaking news, we can go there. But I think that we pretty much have, like, covered everything except for all of the anal talk that's coming out of Spencer.
Awesome.
I don't want to go there. I'm not doing it, John. All right.
Guys, thank you so much for watching Michelle and our Big Brother 15 live feeds breaking news. I'm John. Follow me at Comedy Jonah.
All right, you guys. Talk to you guys later. You guys, you know where to find me at You Got Bronx on Twitter. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye.
Bye.